what is vision? What is third eye vision? Third eye vision is spiritual vision. Now, we talk about low vision. When I say we, I'm referring to that being the go-to term in the US mostly, for people who are on the blind spectrum that are partially sighted. And I think it's worth having a conversation about that term, because there is a difference between sight and vision. We map our physical surroundings with our sight, what we can see around us, right? But our vision is in our mind's eye, and that's how we manifest the future, our dreams, change reality. We all have that power. We all do this every day, unconsciously most of the time and subconsciously. And so what I want to talk about is how everybody here has the potential to tap into that power and reshape your world through meditation, through imaginative thought, going deep into pure consciousness. And that is how you open your third eye. I can talk a lot about just this and the techniques, how I practice them, but I think that'll eat up all the time that we have. So I want to brush through and move along quickly to keep this moving fast enough to be able to fit in the clips that we have. And actually, I'd like to cue the first clip to show you, which is just more of an introduction to who I am and my story. So if we can play the first asset, please.
I want to ask you a question. Do you dream about her?
Sometimes.
What's her name?
Jasmine.
Does she know your name?
No.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Because she'll think I'm a freak.
Do worry about you, Zell.
Have you ever been in a dream and said to yourself, hey, wait a minute, I'm dreaming? It's called lucid dreaming. Essentially, you're awake while you're asleep. Compliment her. Make her feel real good about herself. Practice the art of seduction. You can go to sleep tonight, wake up, and feel completely different about yourself.
I just had to see how a dream can change someone's life.
Look for the abnormalities. Do a reality check. Most of them take place indoors. Look at your hands. If you can do that, then you're lucid. If you commit to this, dream events will be remembered as clearly as real events.
Have we met?
I'm sorry, do I know you?
What?
Just kidding.
Wish you were real.
Do you feel this?
Yeah.
Then it's real.
Don't underestimate the power of dreams.
You're a special case, yeah.
The sway they have over us.
You look lost.
These dreams take place indoors. I was outside.
Don't want to sail through my life not knowing what's real. I want to live in the real world again.
Let me ask you another question. How do you know that this is not a dream?
That's the trailer for Lucid. Thank you. So, thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, that was the first feature film I wrote and directed. Came out a couple of years ago on Amazon. So it's on Prime to stream for free, if anybody hasn't seen it and would like to. And clearly there's a connection between the subject matter and what I'm talking about today, with the power of the mind and the third eye vision is in our mind. It's our mind's eye. It's another, there's lots of different words and terms to explain the phenomenon of being able to stream or download from consciousness, which, scientifically now has been proven to be a collective consciousness that we're all connected to. Going back to ancient cultures, talking about the Akash record, this is very interesting how a lot of science fiction concepts and ideas that have been in literature, for many decades, and films, it's all coming to fruition now and being recognized as science fact. And so it's a really fascinating time that we're living in, all of us. What a time to be alive. I mean, it's very exciting. And lucid dreaming is something that I'm very passionate about. Well, I was obsessed. And so this film is I would say, semi-autobiographical on my experiences lucid dreaming, and how I used it to help benefit myself. And it can be very therapeutic, because you can overcome anxieties, rehearse your fears in a safe space, like Billy Zane's character says. And obviously Billy plays this dream doctor who guides the young hero. I never had that. I was, teaching myself the techniques of lucid dreaming. And so all of this fascination with psionic abilities, everything from precognition to telepathy, all of these abilities that might make some people kind of raise their eyebrows or scoff. Like I say, this is science facts now. I mean, the Nobel Prize on quantum entanglement just a few years ago, everything is, there's so many incredible discoveries that back everything that it backs it all up. And so, when I bring it back to the advertising world in a few minutes, one of the things that I'm going to implore any creatives or brands or anybody in the business to do is just be open-minded. And so, actually what I'll do is cue the next video, which will give a deeper insight into myself and some context as well about the making of Lucid, and Billy speaking on what it was like, collaborating with myself, and a bit more about my story as well, and why I'm passionate about all of this stuff.
Writer director Adam Morse.
Adam Morse.
Le réalisateur Adam Morse.
For the last 9 years, Adam has been registered blind. A rare genetic condition meant at the age of 19, Adam was left with only peripheral vision.
I know when it's the best take. I feel it. What's in my mind's eye. That's the key.
Now, in doing this film, you kind of tapped into other senses. Explain to us about one of the senses that you do not have anymore.
Well, I have partial sight. I'm actually registered blind. My eyesight deteriorated 10 years ago. I was 19 at the time. And yeah, over the course of about 12 months, my central vision left. My optic nerve was dying as a result of a rare mitochondrial disease, and I'm left with what I have now. It's helped me. It's been a blessing, because it's really given me an expansion of other mental capacities, like my memory, being able to just be more sensitive to energy and people, and going off vibration is more than like physical face value and judging people and how they look. It's more how they make me feel and how I feel in the situation. And it's the same with how I work, making a film, working with Billy and the actors.
And rhythm.
Yeah.
The rhythm and the pacing of the dialogue, it had a very comforting pace, and that might have been the heightened audio sensibility that you have that led to that, I don't know.
Now, you were surprised. You did not know this actually going into the film.
No, he didn't tell anyone. However, when the monitor appeared on set that was literally that big, and he was inches from it, like the second or third day, I realized something's afoot. And then his producer, confided.
Well, I think you're such an inspiration, and you're looking at it as a positive experience, and also in that experience you've helped your brother, who also has this.
Yeah, he has the same condition as me. It woke up in me and my brother at the exact same time, and that's not random. That's the universe telling us something. It happened for a reason. And it was difficult for both of us to kind of readjust. Jake, he's such a skilled musician, and his piece that's in the film is at such a special moment as well. I'm really proud to hear Jake's music in the film.
So Billy, what was it like being in this particular film?
This condition did not alter any of the process for me. We found things that we loved and discovered beautiful accidents together that we thought would enhance the narrative and deepen the character. It was identical to a quality experience.
That's really great to hear your story and to share that with other people, because people look at their disabilities and feel like that they can't do anything.
To be honest, I wouldn't change it. There's no treatment or cure for my condition. I feel very happy in my life, who I am, and I really genuinely, honestly feel blessed to have this condition, because it does feel like a superpower. I don't feel disabled, I feel enabled in my life to do amazing things. And I really feel like I can do anything.
So, thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, there's obviously a bit of relevance to why third eye vision is so important to me, but I think it's important to all of us. And it took me losing my eyesight and getting diagnosed with this incurable condition to realize the difference between sight and vision, and also be forced onto a path where I would have to rely more on energy, vibrational energy. And Tesla spoke about it, that if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, you need to understand frequency and energy, because everything is vibrating, everything is made up of energy, all of us, every inanimate object, everything around us. And so, yes, I have become more sensitive to that through losing my eyesight. And that's one of the things that is less obvious or isn't talked about as much. The other physical senses do get heightened, that is true. Hearing, taste, touch, feel. But like I was saying, the mental capacities that have been unlocked, it's been a gift, and I'm grateful. And yeah, the one thing that I struggle with the most isn't the blindness or not being able to recognize faces around me or read or see things at a distance. It's when I'm walking into a room, walking around, talking to people, and then all of a sudden I need assistance, I need some help with something, and I ask, and then somebody gets really confused and says, "Oh, what?" And I say, I'm actually legally blind, can you help me?" And because they don't see a stick or a dog, they don't want to help, or they don't feel like they have to help. And so that's the biggest challenge for me, to be honest, is that stigma of other people's expectation of what blindness is. And so I want to raise awareness around that a little bit today as well. And in fact, I think I've said enough, just that point. Really, don't judge people on how they look or on what you see, again, with your sight, because your sight betrays you every day. It betrays all of us. You can be distracted, you can be fooled by what you see, but what you need to do is close your eyes and see the true picture, feel it, and you will be spoken to by the universe, divine power, God, whatever you want to call it. It's real, it's palpable, and I've experienced it. And even how this happened to me, this condition, which is another story and a long one, but in a strange way, it came about through request, indirectly speaking. But like I say, that's a whole other thing for another time, because the time is limited, and so I want to move forwards and talk more a bit about the advertising business and the opportunities I've had so far and what that's been like, living with my condition and being a differently abled artist. And I have to say, the first big job I got, because after I made Lucid, I started directing commercials. And I've been fortunate to have some amazing opportunities, but they didn't they didn't come easily because of the prejudice that I still experience sometimes, despite having proven myself and delivered award-winning work now. You would think that, that would be enough. But strangely, some people still have their own misconceptions. And so this is why I like to talk about my journey and who I am and share it, because I think us as a collective, once more and more people are aware and we can come together and change this paradigm, it's going to benefit, it's going to help the entire disability community worldwide, around the world, not just me. And yeah, I was lucky that the first big job I got was for the Paralympics, Tokyo, a few years ago, PUMA, France. And funnily enough, the production company in Paris, they knew that they wanted, this one producer had a crazy idea, which he thought was crazy. What if there's a blind film director out there that we can get to shoot the spot? Because it was to showcase the French Sissy-Foot team, which is a French national blind soccer team. And type into Google, just, swinging for the fences, who's out there, blind film director, and then I come up. I've kind of cornered the market in that way. But he kind of showed the rest of his colleagues who thought he was mad, and they was like, look, there is one, let's get him. And I was supposed to have, this was my first big job really in advertising, supposed to have 2 days to shoot this entire football sequence, choreography with blind players, plus VFX shots, holograms of some of the first team stars that won the World Cup, the likes of Olivier Giroud, Raphael Varane. So it was a lot to shoot in 2 days, but yeah, I'll let you see how it turned out. Let's cue it up, the next clip.
Trouver ses partenaires les yeux fermés.
Les yeux fermés.
Les yeux fermés. Sentir le jeu.
Sentir le jeu. Faire le bon geste
Au bon moment.
Vous voyez de quoi je parle?
Vous êtes sûr?
Vous êtes sûr?
Vous êtes sûr?
Those guys are amazing. Wow, they're incredible, those guys. Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to clap for them. Yeah, they are true Jedis in my eyes, in my mind. They really are. And I'm sure you agree. I mean, they're running around with blindfolds on, dribbling past each other, shooting and scoring, top corner. It's insane. But what's as insane, I think, to me is, yeah, the process of making that. Look, it's like anything that I do, or any filmmaker, I think. You have to do so much hard work in prep, because I believe that films, whether they're ad films, feature films, they're always made in prep. They're not made on set. A good film is made in prep. And Scorsese says this, and I'm just quoting him, but I agree with it so much. You have to share your vision with your collaborators, with your team, and as a director, it's your job to communicate all of the ideas, have every detail planned in your mind. You imagine the end product as a whole, but also the minutiae of all of the mise en scène in every moment, frame to frame, and so that all of the heads, all the department heads, everybody can come together, and then you have a shot at actually being able to execute on the day and on set. And so, yeah, with that job, our 2 days was cut down to 1, and then my rehearsal day with the French 6-foot team was gone, and that. So, yeah, I was like, how are we going to do this? Because I can't just talk to those guys on the day and be like, okay, so you're going to run over here, and then you pass it to him, and then when they can't see. How are they going to be able to go through the choreography without me walking them through every beat? Every beat that I've choreographed for that football sequence, they have to feel it with the ball. They have to practice it. And so without a day of rehearsal, it was a seemingly impossible task. Plus having to do all the VFX that I spoke about. So we get there in the morning, we shoot all those plate shots like you saw with the guys, with the World Cup winners, Giroud, Varane. And the team, the 60-foot team, don't actually arrive till lunch. So we've only got an afternoon to do 2 days' worth of choreography shooting. And so nobody really gave it a chance of coming through. But in one afternoon, I powered through 45 camera setups. And so that was something that I feel really proud of sharing now, because, again, you know, there's preconceptions about how somebody like I, you know, would work based on the stigma. You know, oh, yeah, maybe he takes longer and he needs more help and da-da-da. None of that. That's all false. That's all BS. I'm actually so fast, so decisive, because I have a clear idea of exactly what I'm doing on the day, a lot because I work hard in prep, but also even on the day when I'm making real-time decisions to make changes and adjustments like I had to then, you know, throwing out a bunch of the coverage and the luxury shots out of my shot list, coming up with new angles. That's obviously part of any director's job. But yeah, for myself, yeah, I'm very decisive, and we did that. We did 45 camera setups in an afternoon, you know, and plus, by the way, I don't speak French, so trying to direct the talent through a translator took twice as long as well. But I pulled it off, and I'm really proud to have done that, and that was my first big job. So again, like, I'm just sharing that to give context around what conceptions people may have about a blind film director and how they work. And you know, another question that I'm sure a lot of you have is, okay, how do you direct the camera? Well, you might have seen that behind-the-scenes video, some clips of me at a really big monitor with my face that like super close to it. It's as simple as that. Just give me a really big screen, and I'm going to get really close to it. And then with the partial peripheral sight I've got left, I can appreciate the image, and I can have an influence over the framing. And I do influence everything. So I know exactly where I want to position the camera. I know how I want to direct the movement of the camera. I change lens accordingly when I want to make a difference in the emotional takeaway from a shot. And this is how I work. It's just first nature to me. It's storytelling. And I've been playing with cameras as a kid, even before I went blind and lost my eyesight. But like I say, because I'm blessed to have some partial sight peripherally, it would get me close to a really big screen, and I can do my job like any other director. And so, yeah, I was grateful to get that opportunity. And since then, I've had more commercial jobs for brands, directing spots that are blindness related. And that's been great. I've been happy to be the go-to guy. Like I said earlier, I've kind of cornered the market, and that's nice because who doesn't want to work? We all want to be busy doing what we love, especially because this is what I love. The biggest, the only issue I have really is that it's always the blind thing. It's always about, whether it was a GSK spot I did, it went to 80 countries around the world. That was awesome. It was about their Seeing AI app for blind people to read labels. Or even most recently last year, the Super Bowl commercial I directed for Google. Very grateful for that opportunity, and it was an amazing experience. But again, people only think of me for these blindness-related jobs. And I hope you agree that from my narrative work, which has nothing to do with blindness, and you can see the same aesthetic and vibe and style and vision that I bring to the work, it's consistent. And so I can tell any story in any format. And so, yeah, my hope is that, in being able to speak now, it can open the minds of decision makers, whether it's agencies or brands or people, to consider me for work, any work, just good work. And I will, do my best to deliver and keep doing what I do. And yeah, speaking of that Google spot, I'll play it for anybody that hasn't seen it. It was viewed live by 120 million people, which was amazing. The most watched Super Bowl ever, but that's all because of Taylor Swift, I think. Nothing to do with me. But obviously I was really happy that it was seen by so many people. And it went viral online and had over 50 million views on just YouTube alone, and started a trend on TikTok, 3 faces detected, and people filming themselves crying, which is really sweet because, it's quite an emotional spot about a blind man who uses the new Google Pixel phone to take pictures with the guided AI frame, guided frame AI feature that's available on there now to allow the software to communicate to the user what's around them. So you'll see. I'll play it now.
For many people with blindness or low vision, there hasn't always been an easy way to capture daily life.
One face cropped. Move your phone down. One face in frame. Hold for photo.
Dinner for one.
Hello.
One face and one head in frame.
Look who's here.
2 faces in frame. 2 faces.
Good morning.
2 faces. Believe that.
First day in the new place.
2 faces. 2 faces. 2 faces in frame. 3 faces in frame. Hold for photo.
Capture life, no matter how you experience it. Guided frame, only on Google Pixel.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Shout out to Javier, the guy in the spot. He's a great guy, and my brother from the blind community. He's obviously also on the blind spectrum, as you can see, but he's a great guy, and that's the name of the film, is JAVIER in Frame. And it was an amazing experience, being able to work with him and tell a story that could impact so many people, not just from the blind community globally, but around the world. I feel like everybody seems to have some sort of connection with somebody else, at least from the blind community. It's a real, privilege to be able to do this kind of work. So I just want to say that, again, really grateful and honored to do what I've done so far, but I am, ready to start making some commercials about other stuff other than blindness. And I know that, as I continue to work, I know that my skills are just getting stronger, and my experience just makes me better as an artist and as a filmmaker. So, I hope that I can reciprocate any opportunity that I'm given by elevating the work to help, the team, because it's all about teamwork at the end of the day. Filmmaking is a team sport, and so, when you think of a lot of different art forms and the limitations or restrictions for, certain people with disabilities, I am, very, very aware and grateful that being a filmmaker, I am always counting on my team and the people around me to be able to, uplift me and for me to uplift them. And so, when it comes to anyone here that's looking to collaborate with anybody, I really do ask you all to use your third eye vision to not just elevate the work, but also elevate yourselves on a personal level, because, like I say, you can really be tricked by a first glance on who somebody is for face value. And, using spirit vision and meditating and tapping into your mind's eye, that isn't going to only expand your imagination and make your ideas more vivid and help you to download really cool, inspiring ideas. It's also going to give you more empathy, in the way that you think about yourself and your interactions and your friends, your family, your colleagues. And so, it's a gift that I'll really end on that note, to encourage everybody to take the time to close your eyes sometimes and see the real picture. And I think, there's no time for a Q&A, although I'd be happy to talk to anybody off stage. If you see me walking around, feel free to come over and say hi. I'd love to speak to all of you. And if you'd like to stay in touch or keep posted and updated on my work, my journey, we can cue my handle. Is it there? Great. Okay. So if anyone wants to take a picture, that's my account on Instagram, where I'm quite responsive. So feel free to take a snap and reach out, like I say, or just come say hi off stage. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your time at the D&AD Festival. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes that's put on this amazing show. It's been a real honor to participate, and also to be on the jury as well and do the judging. And I just got to say as well, in closing, D&AD have been brilliant in making the experience so accessible for me, because I don't think there's too many other shows that have been willing to give an opportunity like this to somebody like me to be able to judge other work. Again, because of that stigma of, well, okay, how do you get a judge in a room that isn't going to be able to see the work like everyone else? It was as easy as bringing in an extra screen, an extra television, a really big one that I was just sat next to, and we had an amazing time over the last couple of days judging, me and the jury, and we made friends. And that was my biggest takeaway, actually, is the connections and the new friendships that you make at this show. But yeah, it's really, really beautiful to celebrate all of the work and to bring everybody from the industry together. So thank you again, everybody, for coming out. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes at D&AD. And wishing you all a great rest of your time here. And hope to, meet some of you as well when I get off stage. So all the best. Peace and love and light. Thank you.